All rise. Reverend. Please be seated. We was
Thank you very much, and witness, welcome back. We're in open session. Miss Laurie, may you proceed.
Madam, welcome back. I just wish to touch on two topics in quite brief terms. Turning to the 2007 elections, these were very closely fought, weren't they?
Dear.
The ODM thought that they would win, didn't they?
Dear.
And the PNU thought that they were all set to win as well, didn't they?
Dear.
So just before this tight race finished, and before the election results were announced, and I'm using your words here, there was great tension in the air, wasn't there?
Dear.
And when the results were finally announced, violence suddenly erupted in your area, didn't it?
Dear.
Now, in the midst of all this, rumours started to circulate about the arrest of Raila Odinga and William Ruto, didn't they?
Baada ya uchaguzi kutangazwa, Raila Odinga na William Ruto walisema amezikwa the following day, tarehe 31.
These were the rumours, weren't they?
Kikosi chenye walitokesea upande wa Marura ndio walisema wamesikia Raila Odinga na William Ruto wamezikwa. Sasa sijui kama ilikuwa fununu ama ilikuwa ukweli. But kwa experience yangu hawakuwa wamekamatwa. Walikuwa tu wanatakikana wakubaliwa wapite waende mahali walikuwa wanataka kwenda.
And these rumours and what was being said about And these rumours and the stories which were being circulated, this increased the tension, didn't it?
Ndio.
I want to touch briefly on your testimony about the statement that you said Raila Odinga made on the 30th of December 2007. You told the court, and it was on the 3rd of April, and I'm referring to page 69 at lines 7 to 9, we continue, and I'm quoting, we continued to watch TV, and it is then that I saw the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga on TV and saying the following, quotes, "If I am not declared the winner, the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea will be full of blood," close quotes. Do you remember saying that?
Madam Witness,
Wait. All right. Witness, the question now was whether you remember saying that. You can say yes or no.
Sikusema hivyo, sikutaja hiyo tarehe 31 yenye anasema kwa interview yangu, sijataja tarehe 31. Ndio nilikuwa na watch TV nikaona Raila Odinga akiongea vile aliongea.
Madam, in fairness, I'm going to just read back to you your testimony of the 3rd of April.
Yeah, what are you interested in so we can isolate what needs to be dealt with?
The statement, the terms of the statement that the witness heard, says that she heard Raila Odinga say, and the date was given as the 30th of December 2007 according to her testimony, but it's the statement that I'm interested in.
All right. All right, let's first get the statement, and then we will deal with the date, if need be. Witness, for now, forget about the date when you may have seen that statement made on TV, if you did see that statement made. But for now, the question is what you said Mr. Odinga said. And the question was, did you say you saw Mr. Odinga on TV say those words, that the Mediterranean Sea or the Red Sea will be filled with blood if they were not declared winners? Was that your question, Ms. Lowry?
Yes.
Ndio, nilimuona kwa TV akitangaza hivyo.
And do not tell us where you were watching television or with whom you were watching television. For now, if you can help us with the date that you said you actually saw Mr. Odinga on TV say those words.
Ilikuwa tarehe 30 Disemba 2007.
Thank you. Ms. Lowry?
Madam, I suggest that you're mistaken in your recollection and that Mr. Odinga never said those words.
Alisema kwa TV tarehe 30 Disemba 2007 kama hatatangazwa mshindi, Mediterranean Sea na Red Sea zitasikana kwa umwagikaji wa damu, na Raila Odinga akalia.
Was he crying tears?
Nilimwona kwa TV akilia machozi.
Madam, our position... Madam, our position is that the only reference that Mr Odinga made to the sea during the elections was to a tsunami, and that what he meant by that was that there was going to be a great wave of support for the ODM. Would you agree that you might be mistaken, and that in your recollection of Mr Odinga's turn of phrase?
Sijadanganyika kwa sababu 2000 sijadanganyika kwa sababu vita ilikuwa Kenya 2007 hadi 2008, na ninakumbuka mzuri sana my interview nilifanya 2012 mwezi wa 10. Kuna gap ya 2008 hadi 2012. Sasa nataka kuuliza, haya maswali unaniuliza ni wakati wa furugu ama ulichukua hii mambo yote unaniuliza baada ya mimi kwenda interview? Sasa ndio nataka nielewe, kwa sababu wakati huo hakuna mwenye unanitajia hapa alikuwa aware ama kuna kinga. Kuna siku itakuja hii mambo ya Kenya 2007 vita iletwa mahakamani. Kwa hivyo hakuna mwenye alikuwa na kinga akijua kama alifanya hivyo kinga yake italetwa kotini ndio asimame nayo. Si kufanya hivyo wala nilifanya hivyo. Kwa hivyo hiyo mambo unaniuliza ndio nataka kujua kama ni ya 2007 na 2008 ama ni banda ya mwezi wa 10 2012 vile nilienda interview. Sasa ndio nataka kujua hiyo maswali yote unaniuliza, kwa sababu tena kama ni ya 2007 hadi 2008, kwa hivyo uko na uhakika haya mambo yote unaniuliza ni ya ukweli? Kwa sababu kama sio ya ukweli mtu hangekuwa na kinga. Nitakuja siku moja kuhitajika kotini nitoa hii ndio ngao yangu ya kujikinga mahakamani. Si kufanya hivyo wala nilifanya hivyo.
Witness one. Witness, remember the advice I gave you earlier to speak with moderate speed, not too fast, and not too slow as well, but do not speak too fast, please. Your answer then to the last question was that no, you were not mistaken in what you told the court.
Nisijadanganyika.
Mr President, I'm going to move on, but I'm just going to make a couple of corrections to the transcript. At page 32, line 11, I believe the transcript says, "She has flowed," and that should be "tears flowed." The second correction is at page 32, line 13. That should be to tsunami, T-S-U-N-A-M-I. Madam, you testified last week that when you were watching the TV on 29th December 2007, you saw William Ruto hit Mr. Kobito. Do you recall saying that?
Ndio nakumbuka.
You also told the court that present was James Orengo and a lady from Narc, Kenya, didn't you?
Hiyo nakumbuka.
The lady from Narc, Kenya was Martha Karua, wasn't it?
Ndio.
I have no interpretation. I can put the question again if that assists, although I did hear the witness's answer.
Interpreter's witness said ndio. Witness, help us again. The lawyer's question was, the lady from Narc, Kenya, was Ms. Martha Karua. And your answer is?
Nimesema ndio.
Thank you. I believe that the spelling of Martha Karua has been corrected at page 34, although it's still not been corrected at page 33, line 24. It's Martha, ordinary spelling, Karua, K-A-R-U-A. Witness, you'll agree that the hitting of the head of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Kivito, by a member of the Pentagon, Mr. Ruto, is a particularly dramatic event, isn't it?
Miss Laurie, I can see why you want to ask that question, but you need to ask it. Isn't it something you want to argue? I'm not stopping you, but think about it. If you believe you must ask it of this witness, go ahead.
I can move on. I was going to, with the court's leave, play two connected videos, so I propose to play them one after the other. The first video is KEN D090020 10142. I'll take the last four digits again. It's 0142. That's a public video, and it can be played publicly. I'm going to start it at timestamp 12 seconds. I should also advise, Mr. President, that I propose to pause from time to time and to allow the witness to absorb certain pieces of information in the video. I think that would be fairer to her. And then at the end of playing both videos, I will put my propositions.
An agent here. But as you can see, I cannot even an agent here. But as you can see, I cannot even do my work.
Mr. Chairman, I want to request for your indulgence. We have the agent. We can produce the agent from NIDI with information that was announced at the ground, which is not the same at the one that is being announced here. I think, Mr. Chairman, if you can give us a bit of time, Honorable Nyaga is trying to get the agent so that he can come. No, so really, Mr. Chairman, I think that will help the cause of democracy and justice.
And for the record, I've paused it at 1 minute, 5 seconds. Madam, I'm sure you recognise the speaker in the video as Mr. William Ruto, don't you? And he looks calm and is speaking very calmly, isn't he?
Ms. Lowry, perhaps you should finish the whole tape. I thought you were going to pause for witness to absorb, at the end of which you ask your questions.
Certainly, I was just going to point out elements which I will then seek to rely upon at the end, in fairness to the witness.
So the point is the witness should note that so far Mr. Ruto appears calm on the video.
I'm guided. Will she agree to that? Madam, will you agree that on the video that we've just been watching, Mr. Ruto looks calm and is speaking calmly?
Hii ni ya tariki 29 December. Ama ni ya wapi? Ni ya lini? Hii picha umeleta mbele yetu ni ya hiyo tarehe 29. Nimesema William Ruto alipiga kivitu.
Witness. Witness, for now, let's just stay with the video and see what Ms. Lowry wants to do with it. So far, she's saying you can see that up until now, since you and I and all of us in this courtroom have been watching this video, Mr. Ruto, up until this point, in the video, appears to be calm. We can move on.
And in the video, he's speaking to an individual he's referring to as Mr. Chairman. You'll confirm that, will you? And looking at the screen as it's been paused just now, you'll agree that the woman to the right of the screen is Honourable Charity Ngulu, isn't it?
Hiyo ni Charity Ngiru.
I'll continue to play the video.
You can't just stop here in the room like sitting here waiting for somebody to be telephoned to come. You understand? We will continue with what we have.
He's in town.
And when it comes, we will put them in our power. Really? You don't have to announce.
No.
So
we are saying.
We are announcing what we receive.
What we are requesting, Mr. Chair.
And again, I've paused it at 1 minute 27 seconds. Now, I accept you can't see the voice that we've just heard, but there's been a voice come from off stage. Do you recognise that as the voice of Mr. Kivito?
Kwa saa hii siwezi kukumbuka sauti ya Kivito ilikuwa namna gani. Sababu already kwanza amekufa, siwezi kukumbuka sauti yake ilikuwa namna gani wakati huu.
I'll just play until the end of the video.
Is your induction?
You know, we don't need to announce to you. You can announce to KPC.
That is why we are saying, with due respect.
I'm saying.
Mr. President, I propose to play the second video, and it's KEN D09 0033 0023. It's in English, so there's no transcript, and it can be played publicly. And again, I propose just to go through and pause from time to time to observe what is going on.
And passions kept on rising.
Now, I accept it was very quick, but did you see that there were camera flashes and cameras being held up in that video? We can continue.
No, let's repeat that.
And passions.
That might be a better position to pause it at. It's at 3 seconds. Madam, can you see that there's a camera being held aloft in that shot?
Endelea.
And there was also some pushing and shoving, we can say that.
Certainly.
All right, continue.
Kept on rising.
With information that was announced at the ground, which is not the same as the one that is being announced here. I think, Mr. Chairman, if you can give us a bit of time, Honorable Nyaga is trying to get the agent so that he can come. No, so really, Mr. Chairman, I think that will help the cause of democracy and justice.
We will look into them when they come. We can't just stop here and look like idiots sitting here waiting for someone to be telephoned to come. You understand? We will continue with what we have, and when it comes, we will put them in our files.
Paused it at 48 seconds. Madam, did you recognise the man on the podium as Mr. Ruto?
Ndio ni kifo hicho.
I'll continue to play the video.
You have disallowed Kenyans to come here to...
Again, just for the record, in this shot, I think we can see several cameras being held aloft. Would you confirm that, Madam Witness? It's at timestamp 53 seconds.
I think the video speaks for itself. At that point, we can continue.
I'm guided. I'll continue to play.
When it got worse, some intervention. No one was listening. The complaints continued.
I don't like fighting. I used to fight in university. Now I can't fight.
Chairman.
I'm trying to plead to those guys. They are
Chairman, I have a question here.
Please drop mercy on us.
You are doubting your officers delaying the results, and we are doubting the same results that are being announced here.
Well, in that case, In that case, if you doubt us, you know where to go.
Parties want us to retaliate. Let there be a retaliate of all the 210 constituencies. Mr. Chairman, when you are announcing for the first part of this press briefing, where ODM had won, we did not hear anybody complaining. Where President Kebake has won, the people are echoing. This election will be won by the ballot, not by mere shouting. Mr. Chairman, we are submitting. Proceed and announce the winner of the election and let us be able to move on.
Who are you?
Ruto tried to explain the delay in the release of the results.
We are doing what we can, and what we can't do, we will say we cannot do. And you know me, I'll tell you what I can't do.
They would hear none of it.
Father, this country needs you.
Until the bishop intervened.
There shall not be justice in this country. Yeah. We are praying.
For the record, we've played until the end of the video. Now, Madam Witness, the woman in the hat at the end of the video who speaks, that's Honourable Martha Karua of Narc, Kenya, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honourable Martha Karua has been a political opponent of Mr. Ruto, hasn't he? Hasn't she?
Mimi kwa kuelewana kwao sijui kama walikuwa naelewana ama walikuwa hawaelewani. Sasa sijui kati yao walikuwa na namna gani.
Madam, it's correct that the two videos that we've just seen show events at the KICC in Nairobi on 29 December 2007, yes?
Yenyewe kura zilikuwa zinahesabiwa KICC, lakini ama uko na swali lingine unataka kuniuliza ama niendelee vile nilikuwa nataka kusema? Lakini hizo picha umenionyesha kweli Martha Karua aliongea, lakini ile picha hiyo on 29 December 2007 mahali William Ruto alipiga Samuel Kivuitu na kina Orengo walikuweko, hujaonyesha. Na ndio Samuel Kivuitu akasema nilikuja duniani siku moja na nitakufa siku moja, kwa hivyo sitatangaza. Naye Martha Karua akauliza, bona kura za PNU zikitangazwa 99%, bona sisi hatuongei? Lakini bona kura zenyu zikitangazwa 99%, sisi hatuongei, na zetu zikitangazwa mnaleta shida. Na hiyo wakati zile kura zilileta shida sana ni za Tharaka Nithi.
Witness, one point you made has been noted, and that point is that you say the part of, or the video does not show the part where you said Mr. Ruto had slapped Mr. Kivuitu. Your testimony is that that in fact did happen. You saw it on TV. Is that what you're telling us?
Niliona kwa TV.
That is noted. But for now, what Ms. Lowry is also asking you is whether what you saw on TV, the extent that the video shows what we now seen on screen, those are part of the events that happened at the KICC on the 29th of December, 2007. Would you agree with that? Interpretation, please. The reply was given. I'll ask again, witness. Is it the case that to the extent that the video we've now seen, videos rather, show what they show, that which we've seen on the video were part of the events that happened at the KICC on the 29th of December, 2007? Can you respond?
Jaji mkuu, mahali kwa Martha Karua nimemuona hapo, lakini mahali nimetaja Ruto alipiga kivuito sijaona, na ilitendeka tarehe 29 December 2007.
Okay, let's... All right. With the exception of that part, where you say Mr. Ruto struck Mr. Karua, if one brought that and put it on that video, together with everything else we've seen, would you say that everything else we've seen was part of what you saw on TV on that date?
Mr. President, mahali mimi nakumbuka ni hapo niliona Ruto akipiga kivuito, haya mengine sikumbuki.
Ms. Lowry, please continue.
Madam, are you aware that Martha Karua has never made any allegation that Mr. Ruto hit Mr. Kivuito at the KICC? Are you aware of that?
Hata kwa interview yangu sijataja mahali ati Martha Karua hata kwa statement yangu sijasema ati kuna mahali Martha Karua amesema Ruto alipiga kivuito. Ni mimi niliona kwa macho yangu Ruto akipiga kivuito.
But Martha Karua was present at the KICC, wasn't she?
Ms. Lowry, it looks like you can move on. And it becomes argumentative at this point.
Madam, are you also aware that Mr. Kivito never made any allegation against Mr. Ruto?
Nimesema kwa statement yangu Ruto alipiga Kivuitu, lakini Kivuitu akasema nilikuja kwa siku moja duniani na nitakufa kwa siku moja, na akasema hata tangaza. Sasa hiyo mambo ingine unaniruhusa, sijui ni inatokana na wapi.
In fact, journalists who covered this event, and we've seen that media cameras were present, journalists such as Faiza Wanjiru of Citizen TV, deny such a thing ever happened.
I'm going to object, Mr. President.
Objection is sustained. Ms. Lowry, you're simply saying to the witness that the event never happened. Why don't you just put it to her and get her reaction and then we'll move on?
Madam, we say that at no time did Mr. Ruto hit Mr. Kivito, and what you have told about the court about this is simply not true. That's correct, isn't it?
Mimi nasema ukweli, ilikuwa tarehe 26 Disemba 2007 Ruto akipiga Kivuitu. Na kama unataka nikwambie ilikuwa siku gani, ilikuwa siku ya Saturday. Tarehe 29 2007 December.
This is my final question. Did you ever read anything about this incident in the newspapers?
Mimi kwa statement yangu sijasema kuna mahali nilisoma kwa gazeti, nimesema niliona kwa TV, kwa television.
Madam, just for clarity, I'm not talking about your statement, I'm talking about your recollection. Did you ever read anything about this incident in the newspapers?
Wadabu wakili nimekwambia tena na tena na tena, si kusoma kwa gazeti, niliona kwa television tarehe 29 na kulikuwa siku ya Saturday December 2007 William Ruto akipiga Samuel Kivuitu.
Mr. President, Your Honours, the basis of my final questions you'll find at tab 21. I don't propose to put it to the witness, but it's just for your information. I'll tender or seek to tender the two videos that we've just played to the witness. The first is Ken D0900200142. We would seek to have that admitted publicly. It's the video showing Mr. Ruto addressing the KICC. The witness has spoken about certain interactions between Mr. Kivito and Mr. Ruto, and we say that there is sufficient overlap between the testimony and the videos. Any other dispute is a matter of weight, and we would seek to have it admitted.
Mr. Pugliese?
Yes, there's no objection. We note that the witness acknowledged that that was footage from the 29th for that particular ERN, so we're not objecting to that.
The materials will then be admitted as the next in the Ruto defense exhibit.
I'd also seek to tender the second video as well. I can give the ERN for that as well. It's similar footage. It's KEN D09 0033 0023, and we'd also seek to have that publicly admitted.
Ms. Pugliati.
In fact, the witness didn't affirmatively state the date of that footage, but certainly to a reasonable observer it appears to be a continuation of the same set of footage of the previous ERN. So although our usual basis for objecting is present, or at least the basis for admitting it is absent, in this situation, given the connection to the first video, we won't be objecting.
We will admit it, whether or not it's a continuation or shots from different cameras and angles, we will debate later, but the material will be admitted as well.
Mr. President, for the final section, I would seek to go into private session. It will take probably 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Merci, Maître Laurie. Le document KEN D09 0020 0142 se verra attribuer la cote EVD T D09 00191. Le document KEN D09 0033 0023 se verra attribuer la cote EVD T D09 00192. Ces deux documents sont publics.
Thank you. Ms. Lowry, you say we go into private session for the rest of your cross-examination. Is that it?
Exactly, Mr. President. It will probably take about 5 to 7 minutes.
All right. Mr. Pugliati, do you see a need to re-examine so far?
Indeed, there's 5 to 7 minutes left, but so far no re-examination from the prosecution. The only thing we'll be seeking to do before the end of this witness's testimony is to admit into evidence the prosecution's PIS sheet, but no further questions.
All right. Let's do that at the end of Ms. Lowry's exercise.
Indeed, I wasn't proposing to do it at this moment, just putting the court on notice.
We will go into private session.
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you. Ms. Lowry?
Madam, I have no further questions for you. Now, while we may differ on certain issues, we're very grateful for you having come to The Hague to testify. We know it can't have been easy, and we wish you a very safe journey.
Mr. Pugliati?
There's no re-examination from the prosecution.
All right. Witness, thank you very much for coming, and Ms. Lowry's comments, the last ones, can reflect the judge's position as well. We thank you for coming to assist us with what you have testified to. We know particularly it was difficult exercise for you, as it has been for some other witnesses as well. And we're grateful that you were able to come. We will be evaluating your testimony after we've had everyone else, and then we will deliver our judgment as the case may be. Thank you, and we wish you a safe journey back home. We will bring down the blinds and usher the witness out of the courtroom. Or before we do that, witness, if you can bear with us for a minute, no more questions will be asked of you, but if you can sit for a little while. Mr. Puliati, where are we in terms of the next witness up?
Yes, Mr. President, the prosecution's next witness is the expert, number 488, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Lars Bromley. He will be en route to The Hague imminently, and will be available to take the stand on Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning?
Yes, Wednesday morning.
All right. Then that concludes our proceedings for today.
I just have one housekeeping matter.
Before we do, Mr. Puliati's PIS, right?
I imagine Miss Laurie may have risen for the same reason.
Is that why you were rising?
So we're grateful if our PIS, which has been used in the course of this witness's proceedings, could be admitted into the record.
The PIS is admitted as the next in the prosecution PIS.
I'm grateful.
Can I request the same for the defence PIS?
The same for the defence.
Le PIS de l'accusation utilisé pour interroger le témoin KEN-OTP P0469 se verra attribuer la cote KEN-PIS 0001 0052. Le PIS est constitué de 4 pages. Le PIS de la défense pour M. Ruto D09, utilisé pour interroger le témoin KEN-OTP P0469, se verra attribuer la cote KEN-PIS 0001 0056. Ce PIS est composé de 2 pages.
Thank you. We'll bring down the blinds and usher the witness out of the courtroom.